despite what this video says, that I'm, reuniting with my friend, that's on hold because let me just paint the setting for how my travels have gone today. Today is Wednesday, May 25th, and my first flight this morning was at 7 a.m. from Denver to Atlanta, where I currently am in a hotel room. So, let's go fine this morning. TSA decides that I can't have my toothpaste. So they take that, so I don't have any toothpaste right now. Good thing I brushed my teeth before I left. So I was like, okay, fine, I can get toothpaste. Get a smoothie this morning. All right, cool, no problem. Get to the flight. I'm one of the last aboard, and well, the flight's full, so everybody else is going to need to check your carry-on luggage because it's full. And I'm like, anytime this happens to me and they say, oh, it'll go to your final destination, it never gets there. So I'm like, something bad's going to happen now that they're taking my luggage away from me. I was already on edge there. So anyway, the flight was mostly fine. Yeah, took off. I was working while I had it. I was reading a little bit. I finished a book, and yep. We get to Atlanta. We're starting to make our happy little descent. We're getting pretty close to the ground, and all of a sudden the plane goes, and we shoot right back up into the air right before we're supposed to touch down, and we're all like, what just happened? Why didn't we? We were about to land and we didn't. So what happened there? And it takes a bit for the pilot to come back on. He's like trying to hold back laughter and says, well, looks like someone down there doesn't know how to listen to the tower. So we're gonna circle back and try again, folks. So according to people in the front of the plane and the flight attendants gossiping, we almost hit another plane because they hadn't moved their asses out of the way on the runway. So, cool, almost crashed. But the fun part was, not even that, we're circling around, we're descending in sudden acceleration right back up, made the child in the row next to me throw chunks everywhere. So, we had to sit with that for another while. We were in the back of the plane, so I was back there for a while we disembark. But it's fine, okay, cool, at least none of the vomit got on me. Get off the plane, walk through Atlanta, grab some lunch because I'm starving and there's really nowhere to eat, so I couldn't really eat anything that was necessarily good for me, but I did find some chicken, despite it being fried chicken. Fine, okay, cool. Sitting down at my gate, here's my Greensboro, cool. Eating my chicken, hanging out, doing more work. When all of a sudden, a lady jumps up and goes, canceled! And then ding, 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 everybody's phone starts going off, and you'll look at the screen and the flight is canceled. And on my phone it tells me, your flight's been canceled. Select a new flight. And we're like, wait, why? Because the weather's fine. Why in the world was it canceled? Nobody knows. And so I'm like, okay, let's see where, maybe I'll go a little bit later, it's fine. No, next flight is not available until 5:46 p.m. tomorrow. And my bag is not with me. My bag that has my meds and my clothes and pretty much everything. Okay. What do I do? And the thing is, there was no one at the desk. Like the check-in desk where we're all sitting, no one was there, no one was at the next one, no one was at the one behind us, no one at the kitty corner. There's nobody in this area of the airport except for disgruntled passengers all now going, what the fuck? So I've been texting people the whole time, just kind of panicking, trying to find a ticket counter. and my bag, and I find the bag station first and tell them what's going on. They're like, okay, well, we can pull the bag. It's gonna be an hour and a half. And I'm like, okay, fine. I can deal with that. It's not like I'm going anywhere. And then they tell me to go to the ticket counter, and I finally find the ticket counter, and there's a long line because there's like 2 people. Eventually, we get up to 4 ticket agents during this time. There's already a huge line. I am literally in this line for about 2 hours trying to get just to talk to somebody. 2 hours later, the guy in front of me is going nuts. He's like, I'm gonna miss my flight because there's no one working. There's just no one working, and they're taking their sweet time doing who knows what. But we're all set. I'm just like dealing with it, like fine, I will just text people and try to calm. It'll happen, whatever. Finally get to a ticket agent. It's this old gentleman who does not understand their quote unquote new system. Now, I've worked with computers and stuff. I know a lot of people will say it's a new system when they just mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And that's what this guy was. Because everybody else around him was totally fine. And I was telling him, hey, y'all canceled my flight. I don't know I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anywhere to stay. Help me. And he's like, well, let me try to see if I can get you anywhere. And I'm like, well, I already booked the next flight because there's nothing else available. And he's like, oh, well, you could do this or do this. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, but those would be on standby. And I'm like, I don't want to be on standby. I want a reserved seat. Because I was already scared about this flight in general because it already told me I was going to be on standby. But, yeah. And he repeatedly is like, well, what about going here? And I'm like, sir, I have never been to North Carolina. You're saying cities and they mean absolutely nothing to me. The only option that Michelle told me is like, I could try to transfer to an American Airlines flight to Raleigh and get there. And he looks it up and goes, nope. Like, great, okay. He's like, what about go to this place? I'm like, again, sir, I don't know where that place is. I don't even know where I am. I know I'm in Atlanta, but that's all I can tell you right now. And then he keeps asking me, so why was the flight canceled? And I'm like, I don't know. I've already told you this. And then 2 minutes later, so what, did they say why the flight was canceled? No, no one was there. We just got a text that said canceled. Like, he asked me this so many times, and he brings over all these other people, and they all ask me the same fucking question, and I'm like, no one knows why this flight is canceled. Nobody. Nada. Zip. Zero. No. Nine. Yet. No one knows. Okay? No. And I'm like, can you just book me a hotel? Because y'all owe me this shit. And it takes him, he can't figure out how to do it. He has to call over like 3 other people to do this. Finally gets me a hotel. And then I'm like, where is this hotel? And he's like, well, you need to go and take the SkyTrain and do this. And I'm like, okay, where is that? He's like, oh, blah, 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 go this, this. I'm like, wait, what? And then next person. And I'm just like, fucking hell. So I finally go back to the bag people because I've been waiting in line for 2 hours. My bag's there, so at least we have my bag. Yay. Call the hotel being like, how do I get to you? There's a shuttle. She's like, yeah, you need to get to the gateway station and then call us. And I'm like, but how do I get to the gateway station? I must have talked to like 50 people today just trying to get directions to get to this hotel. And then I get to the hotel. It takes a bit, but again, someone inexperienced is doing this and doesn't know how to do the special thing because it's a voucher from Delta. You know, it's special stuff, but I get that if you don't have it very often, it's confusing, and that's fine because I obviously have my room now. But the funniest part is just like the room number itself. That's my room number. 217, people. What could go wrong? I'm just waiting to be assaulted by a dead woman in the bathroom or something. Who knows? We've got a creepy door right over here. I'm just waiting for somebody to unlock it and murder me in my sleep. Not that I'm gonna be sleeping. But yeah, there you go. That's my adventure so far in my reunion with Michelle, but it's delayed heavily. And let's hope that, God, I hope this is the only like rant part of this that I have to go through, because my flight's not until the evening tomorrow, and that just gives the opportunity for them to do this all over again. And I'm just like, knock on cheap fake wood, because I really don't want to have to go through this again. I don't want my whole vacation to be me holed up in a hotel room trying to see Michelle and then not getting to see her. Okay, we're gonna nap. Morning, everybody. Let's hope for the best today. reunion interview part 1. Hi. Welcome back to the channel.
Yes!
How's it feel to be back?
I'm so glad to be back.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
What have you been doing for the past 9 years?
That is a very
Everything.
long answer. Let's see. Moved to North Carolina, went to grad school, got my master's, started my PhD, left my PhD program, got married, bought a house, got a new job.
And have 3 cats.
Now I have 3 cats.
Yay! What's the one thing that you miss the most about Japan?
I miss easy karaoke.
Yeah.
I miss karaoke box. 7-hour
Big
karaoke
time.
box.
Yes, absolutely.
So much fun.
That's right up there with Kokoichi's for me.
Oh my god, I miss Kokoichi.
Yes.
Oh.
And trains. Just easy access train systems.
Easy access to train.
Yep.
Oh my god.
The tiger's out. There he is! I see Tiger way back. Way back there. No, come back here. Ah. Misha got a thing. A big thing from this place. We've been spending far too much money. Far too much. What's the last anime you saw?
Probably Yuri on Ice.
How was it?
It was amazing. I love Yuri on Ice.
I know.
I have not really watched a whole lot of anime.
Me neither. But you know, we used to be such big weebs.
The biggest of weebs.
The biggest of weebs. And now we're here again.
Right?
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going alright, how are you?
Good. Are you enjoying your time here?
Yes, are you? You're the one who's visiting.
Yes, very much so. But specifically this convention. We're having a good time.
Got a new sexy bag going on here. We've bought a lot of things. We might have. But what's been your favorite purchase you've made today?
Definitely the katana I'm going to be using
Yes.
for my kenshin
Yes.
when we go to Metrocon.
Very
this
good.
summer. If anybody's in Tampa and you're going to Metrocon, me and my wife will be there.
Woo! You can see our awesome cosplay because she's amazing at cosplay. Heck yeah! If you could go back to Japan right now, what is
Okay.
the first thing you would want to go do?
If I could go back to Japan right now.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Karaoke, for sure. What's one thing that you didn't get to do in Japan that you wish you'd gotten to do?
I really would have loved to gone to Fuji again.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't get to go to Fuji.
I didn't either. I kept having my ear thing happen to me.
Yeah, I really would have liked to go to Fuji.
Yeah. Yeah,
Also, I would have really loved to go to USJ.
obvious. Yeah, it's a good one. I wanted to go to the Ninja amusement park.
Yeah.
I saw, oh God, what was her name?
I think I've been to the Ninja amusement park when
Yeah.
I was a homestay student.
Ah.
I went as part of my Rotary group.
Mhm.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that's one that's always been on the bucket list there, for sure. Have you kept in touch with anybody from our time in Japan besides me?
Yes, I still talk with Hannah. I still talk and follow Casey and
Crystal, yeah.
I talk a little bit to Jeffrey and Sarah.
Uh-huh.
A little bit to Naomi. Still talk to Doi Sensei and Tomomi-san.
Mhm.
I love Tomomi-san.
Yeah.
So yes.
Sir.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
You have fun?
Yes.
Good.
To beach. So,
You.
more question time as
Okay.
we catch up with you. What advice would you give to anybody who wanted to go to the jet like we did, and advice for those coming back?
If you're gonna go to do jet and like you're prepping and deciding, do I really want to do jet or not? Really focus on finding ways to express like your area and where you live in very simple English, like even simpler than you think it's going to be, because it needs to be simpler than you think it's going to be.
Yes.
If you are like thinking about being in Japan or you've already started it, really try and learn the language if you can. If you can't, like from the beginning, that's okay. But when you get there, really kind of focus on finding part of the community you want to get involved in, because like being involved with other Japanese people, not just jets, but like getting involved in stuff with Japanese individuals makes a huge difference just in being welcomed by your teachers and your students, and also like getting to do different things that you might not really think about, like you did taiko, I did tea ceremony, you know, we made a lot of Japanese friends, and it really makes the experience richer. It's nice meeting other jets from other locations, and you always have somebody to hang out with so you can complain about, oh my god, my students are crazy. But it's also really important to be part of the local Japanese community. Like, they will look out for you as long as you are putting in the effort.
Just be wary about telling them what your favorite food is, because it'll show up on your door in crates.
Yes. Yes. They will do that,
Yeah.
especially if there's an older Japanese woman around.
Yeah.
She will make sure you are fed.
Oh, you like peaches? Here's a crate full of peaches. For those coming back and adjusting, how did you cope coming back?
So when I came back, I moved back in with my parents,
Same.
which honestly really helped. And I didn't have a whole lot of time to adjust to being back because like I didn't get a chance to get a job because unfortunately my mom ended up getting sick, and I volunteered to take care of her, and I ended up doing that. Just give yourself some grace because it's gonna feel really weird to be back, and you're gonna have experiences and things that you miss. It's a different type of culture shock than when you first go over to Japan, and it's very valid. And still try to maintain some of those relationships with people that you met in Japan or are still there, because you'll have that moment to be able to talk to them. It's really important to recognize you're gonna have culture shock again. It's gonna suck again. But just like when you have culture shock coming to Japan, it will get better.
What was your biggest culture shock coming back? Do you know if you remember it?
Just how not clean this country is.
Yeah.
Like, this country's just not clean.
Yeah.
It's weird.
We are, yeah, we're kind of nasty.
Yeah.
We kind
Also, like,
of gnarly here.
The lack of public transportation.
Yes.
I miss, like, having trains and buses that ran.
And it's accessible too, accessible ones.
Yeah,
so like, yeah, sure, it exists, but only in like heavy metropolitan areas.
And even in like where we lived in Fukui, where
we had the Podong train.
We had
several.
And we had is like, oh, this bus is always late. It's super late. Late is like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
One time it didn't show up, and that was because it had dropped like 2 feet of snow on us in an evening.
Right.
So like that's why it didn't show up.
Easy to get.
Other than that, like all of the public transit is amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we need to learn from that.
Yeah, agreed. What is your favorite animal to see at the zoo?
I like the wolves.
Wolves. What is your favorite animal to see at the zoo?
I like the bear, but he passed.
Oh.
So I'd really like to hopefully see the polar bear today.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Or if the elephants come up really close to that one watering hole again.
Hello, my brethren. I too am a Colorado River toad. Hello.
Hello.
What is your name?
Misha.
What is your quest?
I have no quest.
What is your favorite color?
Black.
What is the airspeed velocity of a what is it? African swallow. Unladen swallow.
You know?
I think it's 21 miles per hour.
Something like that.
Yeah.
How's it going? It's going well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just finished being at the zoo. Now we're waiting for a train.
Yay! Super fun times. Then what are we gonna do?
We're going to heat up leftover food from yesterday and watch a movie.
Yay!
Chill evening.
Yay! Need those.
Yes.
Yes. We need a sign off.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well. I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too. I'm so glad. I'm mad that it took, you know, almost a decade to reunite us, but we're here. We're still friends.
Yes.
Although I mean, I'll get you the money later for saying that, but you know, I'll PayPal you.
Yeah. You got my email.
Yeah. And pay no attention to that meowing noise in my bag. It's just.
Swear to God, give me back my cat.
I'm quite obsessed with her cats.
I have very cute ones.
They're freaking adorable, and I would like them all. So, thank you.
Can't have them. You can send them gifts.
It was just so fun. What was your favorite part of this weekend so far?
I gotta say, going to con with you again.
Con was great. Con was super fun. It was like living a little bit of blast in the past, and then, but also still all the new stuff, and just spending lots of money and seeing all the new cosplay that's popular now, and trying desperately hard to find something we related to.
It's just like,
we're the old weebs.
The only new thing I'm really into is Genshin Impact, and there's tons of that now, which makes me very happy.
Yeah, good. Well, next time you gotta come to me. I'll bring you on my turf, and I'll take you to Butterfly Pavilion.
That's right.
Yes,
I love butterflies.
Very important places to go. You know where else I would take? I'd probably take you to Estes.
Cool.
Go to the Shining Hotel. Yeah. Stanley.
If I can, hopefully I can come around the literary convention and I can come and hang out at one of your spaces.
Hell yeah.
That'd be fun.
Do you have any final words for all of the cuties? Any messages you want to leave them with?
Always know where your towel is.
That's a good one.
Hello everyone. It happened again. I'm back in Atlanta and I'm gonna be stuck overnight again. Delta canceled like 500 flights this whole Memorial Day weekend. Great job. I'm fine. I'm fine. I don't have any more clean clothes, but I'm fine. It's great. I'm in a Marriott this time. I'm so mad. But anyway, there were some questions asked for the Misha after I had already left them, and so they were kind enough to record some answers for you guys. So, for all the questions submitted for the Misha, here are the answers.
Hi cuties, it's me, Misha. I've gotten some questions from you guys that I'm gonna take a couple of minutes to answer. Cool. What are some of my favorite moments with Q? That's actually really hard because there were a lot of really favorite moments with Q. I gotta say probably like the top favorite moments that I have with Q are our karaoke sessions. Just spending 5, 6, I think our record was 7 hours in a karaoke box together, specifically that one at that arcade in Sabae, which between Takefu and Fukui City, that was always just like the best time. Especially because Q was really the one that got me into singing. I never really thought that I could sing or have like even a decent voice, and Q was the one who really drilled into my head the point of going to karaoke is not to be a good singer, it's to have fun and rock out, and you know, and just having that confidence just to do it. And then, you know, slowly but surely Q helping me was like, oh, you do have a voice, we can work on it. And that was just really awesome and kind of one of my favorite memories. I also loved all of our YouTube adventures, just getting to do all of her videos and go with her on these adventures, and just kind of being part of that was just so much fun, especially when we were doing the more narrative YouTube, like the recycle shop adventure. That was always just a blast. I really loved it. Who was the final winner of the karaoke tournament? I am willing to admit that Q beat me. But you know what? Got my eyes on you. And the next time we're in the same area, we're going to a karaoke room, and I'm going to take you down. Okay? Do I still have the Final Fantasy merch that Q bought me as a surprise gift? Yes. Yes, I do. You actually might be able to see it. It is right here. I love that Gunblade. Final Fantasy VIII is still my favorite Final Fantasy game. I absolutely love the Gunblade, and I love that piece of merch so much. Like, I will never not have it. It's going to be in my possession till the day I die. Who was my favorite puppet? Kimchi Nunkins. Kimchi Nunkins was my favorite puppet. Why would I love any other puppet more than Kimchi Nunkins? Kimchi Nunkins is the sweetest puppet that you could ever ask for. And I am in no way, shape, or form saying this because Kimchi Nunkins might be holding my wife at knife point. Kokoichis or Caesarea? Ugh, I gotta go with Kokoichis. Like, Caesarea was good. Like, don't get me wrong. Caesarea was very good, but gotta go with the curry. That, pork katsu Kokoichis. Oh, so good. Favorite spot in Takefu? I don't actually know. I didn't live in Takefu. I lived in Fukui City, and whenever I was in Takefu, I was always, like, at Q's apartment, where all the other ALTs in that area lived. I don't know. I guess Q's apartment, because we really didn't do a whole lot of adventuring in Takefu. We did, like, around Takefu and outside Fukui. Ebi chizu or hambagu at Hamazushi. You know, you have forgotten my favorite, which is the roast beef over rice. That was the one that I always got 5 plates of. And I'm gonna have to go with that. What do I remember about the International Music Mashup in Tokyo? Oh god. Let's see. I remember not getting any sleep on that night bus and then arriving at Tokyo bright and early on a very hot summer morning and getting dressed into our outfits in a bus terminal bathroom, which was an adventure. Like, it was super fun. We went to Harajuku and I think it was like July or August, so it was incredibly hot in Tokyo, even at like 10 a.m. And we're just standing on that bridge just dying because we were exhausted and we're hyper because we're tired and it's so hot. But the other thing I really remember is how many people came up and assumed that, like, Q was really famous and wanted Q's autograph. Like, it was really interesting. It was really cool because they really thought that we were doing this on a bridge street corner in Harajuku because Q was famous. Like, it was really cool. That was actually really interesting, and I really dug it. My favorite adventure around Japan with Q. Probably our Tokyo adventures. The Tokyo adventures were so much fun. Just going to Tokyo Disney Sea with Q was an absolute blast, especially when we managed to get the entire Indiana Jones ride to start singing the theme song with us. Going to all of the theme cafes, Artnia, even the Asylum Cafe, which I don't really do horror, like, those were always super fun at Ueno Zoo. Going to the Anime Expo in Odaiba, like, the Tokyo adventures with Q were just such a blast. Second, probably only to going to the Naruto whirlpools, because that was such a unique space and such a unique location, and that was really fun too. But probably the Tokyo adventures were my favorite adventure with Q. Feature of Q's apartment that I have the most nostalgia for. I always really liked Q's walls. Q had all of those really interesting posters and photos and, like, magazine cutouts from J-dramas and J-pop artists and anime, and especially, like, if it was something that I didn't know, I could ask her about it and she'd be able to tell me a whole bunch of stuff about it, especially if it was, like, you know, Arashi or other J-pop bands, and she'd be able to tell me, you know, oh, this was from this promotional tour or this was from this album release, and she always refreshed them fairly frequently, so it was always a little, like, every couple times I would go, it was always a little bit different, and I really, really enjoyed that, and just enjoyed seeing how she decorated her space like that. Also, that comfy yellow couch. That was usually where I slept if I stayed over. That couch was amazing. It tried to eat you. Like, it was impossible to get off of that couch, but it was really comfy.
Okay.
Give it butt pats.